Hello and welcome, episode 24 of the Early Crow Captain's Run. This week, two headquarters in Sydney or at Randwick, Melbourne, Flemington. At Randwick, we've got the Surround, the Verry Elleegant Group 1s. At Flemington, we've got the Blamey Group 2.
Blimey.
And then we've got the Australian Guineas. How's the week been, boys? We'll start off with that.
Week's been busy. Do we have a runner yet?
No? Not yet.
No. Week's been pretty boring, really.
It was nearly a fat day at Sandown. It was still winning day, but nearly fat.
Well, when you say nearly fat, we fucking ran second twice by a whisker. One of them, they even threw in a protest for us, which Tom kept me loosely up to date with while I had dinner.
My phone was up right on the table, and all Michelle just kept saying was expletives just come through. She's like, "What's Paps doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's a protest going on at the moment. Hopefully we get the chocolates."
Yeah, actually, Sandown was good, and we didn't bet Tuesday at Sale, did we?
No, Praddy found a multi, of course.
And Pratt did, but
I found a multi for Praddy tonight. I was actually gutted about Sale, Praddy, because I would have said it to you that like if I just stick at the multis, I'll hit. Yeah, we had the first multi at Pakenham where Paps refuses to play protest.
Yep.
Sort of Marty Sheagull stuff. We don't know why, but he's really upset with the Bermuda Triangle. And we had a $1.30 shot that we took $1.60 about in the multi get rolled. And
Isn't that a good enough reason?
Yeah. And I'm like, but I said I'm going to keep going. I'll hit him. And Sale, there was 3 shorties on the sheets that I was way shorter than the market, and they all hit.
Yeah. Well, I wrote into the Crow group of the multi that I took, and it spent 2.5 and got back almost 8. So it was a pleasure, really. Sheets have been good. You've been on fire.
There's a multi tonight at Pakenham, 2-legger.
So Sale's different to Pakenham. Like I would have played at Sale, but Pakenham's just
dust.
Boys.
I know it's off track here, but Son of Grace has just won at Kyneton.
Oh no, that
like
would be another tick for the sheets. Jeebus Christ, what do you do?
But anyway,
how's your week been, mate? We heard the heart rate was sort of up a little bit. We weren't sure if you were riding a bike or you're just in an elevator. What were you up to?
Neil Armstrong.
No elevators for me that I can assure you of.
That's what I mean. But that might get the heart rate up as well. Yeah.
The heart rate would be way higher going up in an elevator
Thanks,
than riding a bike.
Fucking hell. I'm dropping decent gags. It just flew right over your head. He's not going to laugh at it. You've got to come with me.
Oh shit. No. Week's been good. Got a shirt on because we've got some exciting news. We've got a new sponsor on board for the Captain's Run, which is great, which we'll delve into the Value Vault a little bit later with Betfair. But no, week's been good. Thought I'd better dress up for the occasion. Good to see you and I have got shirts on, Dicko, and Paps is in a crew neck. Who would have thunk it?
And if memory serves me correctly, it might be the exact same crew neck he was wearing on Monday. So maybe Annie's away again. I'm not sure.
Nah, it's not, is it? I think so, yeah.
But he wouldn't know.
You've got half your fucking chest out.
He's not wrong.
Anyway.
Not wrong.
That's good, boys. Week's been good. Back to the serious stuff. We'll start with Flemington, Dicko. Rail out 2 metres. Flemington plays usually pretty fair on most occasions. Is that right? Or how's it playing?
The straight races it's a slight setback to be rear. But I'd say rail 2 metres might be the fairest rail position in Australian racing. So if you like one, you can bet. Yeah, luckily enough, there's big fat fields for the majority, and sort of for a lot of the races, there's sort of $4 or $5 the field. So it really does encourage wagering. The conditions in Melbourne at the moment, Brady, it happens every year, doesn't it? It's the best hot right now. No, it's not too hot. It's cold in the morning. You get a late summer in Victoria. It took me a few years to get used to it coming from Sydney, but it's glorious right now. It'll be glorious on Saturday. There will be no excuses for anyone if you're having a bet other than the usual sort of sick stuff with tempo and big fields. You might get held up, those sort of things. But I'm certainly going to have a few bets on horses that settle worse in midfield there on Saturday, which I don't normally do. What do you think is going to happen at Randwick?
Randwick, be pretty fair. Lane's 4 plus in the straight. Like a few there, but not overly keen on too many. Bit of wait and see. Waiting on scuzz and stuff like that, first up horses and things like that. But like a couple, but we'll get into them later.
Is it hard to trust the Sydney track at the moment? Like, was it Wednesday
Yeah.
where it was hot as hell and you got a track downgrade somehow?
Yeah, like rail 7 meters at Rose Hill, and it's hasn't rained for, I don't know, 2 weeks, and they downgrade it to a soft 6, which is interesting. Obviously, irrigation's caused that, but yeah, it can be tricky. It's a lot of wait and see and adjusting at the moment. But lucky I've got the weekends off at the moment, which is nice, and I can adjust on the move. But yeah, that is the way with Sydney. I think at the moment, the last obviously 2 months that I've probably dived into the form consistently, that you've got to wait and see really. Because last week the history data said up and in, and they're playing off fence at Rose Hill. So we'll be waiting and seeing at Randwick. Usually Randwick's pretty fair, but we'll see what happens.
Cool. Where do we want to start, you or me?
We'll start with you. We'll start with the race 7, Group 2 Blamey. You've got one here in Just Folk, Mailbag Bloodstock. Had 2 starts, pretty good runs.
Yeah, look, it's a decent addition of the Blamey, but definitely not a vintage one. I think there's a real lack of tempo. I think some of the key horses here, including our horse and particularly Place to Carousel, don't really thrive on good tracks, and they're going to get that definitely by race 7 on Saturday. Place to Carousel's trials have been enormous, as good as they get, better than it was last prep. They might be in a sort of similar boat to us, where they just need to take the horse to the races, and the best track to do that on, a good track, would be Flemington, the cushion of headquarters. Stapati's ready to win, but it's short enough for a wide draw on Blake McDougall, drawn 11. Poison Chalice, I think, will relish being back in a race without as much tempo on paper. It sort of had its head blown off in the Swartz race at the Valley, and then in the Just Folk lead-up race to this was a listed race, and Buffalo River, who I think's probably retired, went ballistic. Willow went ballistic on the Tiaco horse, and we were following them. That wasn't the shape this horse wants. I think he'll get a better shape here. Zardozi, interesting horse, the horse we backed in the Melbourne Cup. And Attrition comes through the same race as Just Folk and was very, very good late for a first up run. I think this race is wide open, I can't back Just Folk, but I think he's a big price. He's 2 from 22 on good tracks. Now, a lot of those good track runs aren't with Gavin, and both his runs this preparation have been really, really good. He's on track to actually get probably you or the Crust to sort of host owners on race day. This will be his last run in Melbourne. More than likely, this preparation, he heads north to Sydney. So we just want him to go to the races and have a run.
Okay, before you keep going, we need to stop there. Do you really want Crust hosting people at the races on behalf of Mailbag Bloodstock, or would you just prefer Paps to do it?
I don't want to upset.
I think it'd be
I prefer Paps, but what I prefer is Paps in charge, just like they're at the footy club.
Yeah,
Paps a leader, but Crust there for some flair.
Yeah, love it. Sorry, continue.
I think the safe bet, if you need a gamble, is number 3, Future History, Mark Zara on first up off some nice trials. Each way, I think it's overs at sort of $17-18, but it's a very, very busy race. And our man AJ, who Marble Arch, this morning when he woke up, Marble Arch was the best horse he owned, was shareholder in. Maybe that's not the case anymore after
Kyneton race 1. Holy fuck!
Was he in that?
Keep it on the shush or something.
Let me just double check.
They got Jay Carter to go all the way to Kyneton, the most beautiful track in Victoria. It was half slow.
Bit of shush. Half
slow at Kyneton, never good. Then there was like a bit of a incident, like a bit of interference, and it was on the back of it and got like hip and shouldered out wide and back. She just clicked it. I don't think she hit it once. Just clicked it, circled him, won by about 10.
Jesus.
Fucking unbelievable.
And he's in
unbelievable. I think he's in it.
Jesus.
I thought our model, Tommy, it likes Marble Arch. I just sort of can't fall into it at this point in time. It was very, very good in the Shorten Lane race, ran second. I don't know what one, pretty top of my head. But it was at Caulfield. This horse was not slaughtered by Jamie Carr. It was
JRA plate.
And,
Yeah.
mate, think about what horse won. We might have backed it at $51.
Duke de Sessa won.
Duke de Sessa won. Now, Marble Arch had absolutely no luck. It wasn't slaughtered by JK. It was slaughtered by Wings of Song and Jake Noonan.
I thought you were going to say it was slaughtered by Jay Mellon for a second there, but...
No, it was an awful watch if you're on Marble Arch that day, and it was very, very good. And it's going to get a much softer run here with 53 kilos on its back for Mickey D.
Nice, mate.
And before you go on, if you're betting late and you're wanting to watch how the track plays and things like that, bet late with Betfair. The value will be there on some of these runners looking at this market.
Righto. Now we go to the feature. The Guineas, Australian Guineas, race 8. What have we got at the top of the market? We've got Angel Capital now with Yulong at $4. Point and Shoot. That's a good horse down from Sydney with Bourne. We were on last start, which was very nice. It'll be slow away at Flemington. Big track. Will suit it. $6. Gold Rush Guru, the South Australian, $11. And about $12 the rest. But where are we headed, mate?
Look, this is chaos, this race. If we do get a guide to how the track's racing, it'll influence where the market goes late. Stay focused, Gold Rush Guru are the two horses that'll put themselves on the spot, but they don't have to lead. There's horses like Royal Insignia, Savour the Dream, another Profit, Opening Address. I'd say half of them, I don't know which ones, will just go, fuck this, and they'll go forward, and they'll send them from the wide draw. I think another Profit had its birthday in 1,000 guineas. It's been playing since. It was blessed in run last start and was awful. Now it's got a disgusting map. It'll go around without us. Savour the Dream brings some very interesting Queensland form. It beat a horse called Prince Levi, who, if you want to go watch the tape, was fucking enormous. Absolutely enormous yesterday. Apparently the train stopped in Brisbane when this horse went around. It was that good. L. Bowles he stopped the whole network to watch it on his phone. It was an enormous run by Prince Levi. Now, there's not a big gap, as we see from Seapels, who's come from nowhere to be just about the favourite in this race, you know. I wouldn't be ignoring Savour the Dream, but it's drawn tricky. Plymouth will get a lovely run. Angel Capital is going to get back worse in midfield, I think, unless they use it up. Colt, you don't want to rev it too hard. It's coming from a race at Caulfield where it didn't matter where you were, it's just better than them, and it was a really small field. Now you see it in a real tactical race. Tricky ride for Mellum. And then Nandola. It was fucking enormous. A few of these horses that are coming through the Flemington race are coming through a wet track run. Nandola has good numbers and figures on dry tracks. I think it'll be alright. But drawn 12 Luke Curry, the map isn't like what you'd want. If this horse drew 8, we would have bet. Just want to wait and see how the track races. I don't think they can get a lot shorter than it is. About $17 everywhere now. Hemline was awful. Big rap on it, perhaps. We were all over it in the spring. They've thrown the blinkers on it, which is a sign of sort of desperation, really. I don't know. The only positive for that horse is that Mark stuck with it. You know? I think the easiest bet in this race significantly is the 12 Seapels. It's on the upward spiral. It's going to get the absolute PR here. He's drawn 3, so if he needs to be off the fence, he'll be off the fence. There is no one in Australia riding better than Blake Shin at the moment. You can get... I think we can get sort of confused and distracted by the results rather than, you know, you're putting the horses in the right areas and you might not be getting the results. He put the Blue Diamond favourite in the 1-1. You know, he just puts these horses where they need to be competitive and get there every possible. And when they gift him barrier 3 in a really busy race, I just can't see this horse not getting a great run. It's going to need some luck at some point. But he's just riding too good to ignore. And I think Seapels is a bet in the Australian Guineas.
He also, on top of that, Dicko, is the stats are reflecting it as well. He's going at 27% strike rate for his last 100, up on 16% for his career.
Yeah,
so,
but if
the ones that he's not winning on.
Yeah, if the Colt had not shit itself in the Blue Diamond, it's another, like he's at 30%. You know, like there's just so many. There was a ride yesterday he didn't win, but like he let the horse go and he got in behind it. You think about last Saturday at Caulfield, how many times like he handled Willow early on. He put Pericles into the coffin in the Brightside race. It didn't win, but like he just nailed everything that he could. He's flying. There's horses here that they go on and win this. It won't shock you. But Royal Insignia, although it's got a great SP profile versus many of these through the Flemington race, it's drawn 15. That's just... Yeah.
Point and shoot, it would have come up all right on the model, I assume, of slow tempo and Hooned Home. It's just the map that's going to be tricky for it. Who come up at Hooned Home over?
I've got $12. I think it's going to be closer than you said, so I might make it sort of $14, $15 and push it 2 pairs back on my map.
Yeah.
Look, I think Nandola's about a $14, $15 chance. Probably what I think point and shoot is. I haven't published these prices yet. I think a horse that if it gets out late on Betfair, Paddy, gamble responsibly 1-800-858-858, is Gold Rush Guru, the Derby winner. It's got a really nice SP profile out of the CSAs now as well, and it was the best of the sort of Derby horses in that race. The more honestly this is run, the more it's going to suit this horse.
Nice, mate.
You've backed Seapals. I've just off what you've been talking about. Then I've just had a small bet on Ndola. If it does, I've just had a tiny bet now, because just in case it is racing from the back, because as you said, Dicko, if that's the right form line, shit.
I think Angel Capital's. I think Angel Capital's a $4 chance.
Yeah, okay.
But you're getting $4, whereas I think Seapals is probably a $3.20, $3.30 chance.
Yep.
And you're gonna there was $6 around before. So yeah, I think it's a great race. It's an exciting race. If I was just a hobby fun punter, I'd definitely be playing like trifectas and first fours here and going pretty wide in the quaddie and praying that something big happens, because there's a lot of horses here with ability. Red Aces is $71. You want to back it, you roll back through its SP profile last spring and you can justify having a bet at $71. There's horses like that all through this race.
Yep, because do you give any hope to Detroit City as well for Dominic Sutton, or is it just the map's just chaos?
I hate the map.
Yeah.
But it started $13 versus $10 Plymouth last start. So there's it's a race with progressive horses that you don't know their ceilings of, and there's enough juice in any of them at versus their price almost, just about any of them, not all, but where you can justify your opinion if you liked it. Like Staturo, the 17.
Yep.
Blinker's first time, inferior ground and good last start, $20 there versus Angel Capital. Angel Capital's $4 here. This thing will be 100 to 1 on Betfair. It could be bigger, but it's drawn 18. It's a very good race.
They're the two features, and we'll save the value for the end of the show. Any best bets on the card that you want to, outside the two features?
Race 10, the 15, Arquana, had a hot little tick over. It's flying, this horse. Foley off, J-Car on, massive tick, 3 pluses. It wasn't suited last start. 550 is a gift. Fair track, Jamie Carr. She'll have this thing just worse in midfield. As long as she gets it out, I think it'll look like the winner.
Remember deep in the depths of winter last year at Sandown, at beautiful Sandown, when it was blowing an absolute gale? It was me, you, and like one other person there.
And Jimbo was there, I reckon.
Jimbo was there, yep. And I reckon it was Jai McNeil pulled this thing out. He just at the 600 paps, Dicko just tapped me on the shoulder and goes, "We're travelling here." And just sure enough, just
pissed in, isn't it?
It fucking
it was
like
in. It was like race. It might have been race 10.
It was race 10, yeah.
And there was 9 races where nothing had made any ground all day. So instead of like $4 this horse, they gave us like 9 and 10,
and some sicko might have backed. What was that horse? Fucking hell. Use your brain. Faulkner Park. Somebody might have backed Faulkner Park that ran at Doom in the race before into it as well and got a little bit of extra juice out of it. But I don't know who that was. But
Mailbag Bloodstock's got a runner. I don't know if it's Eagle Farm, I think, on Saturday.
Ooh.
There could be a little early crow double for those sickos who want to bet their little hearts out responsibly up there at Eagle Farm. You could have the Aldenary into the Until Valhalla.
On Aldenary, this will sum up the Crust and his ownership success. We're actually out of Aldenary, so you watch it win on the weekend.
Oh my god!
So if you want to have a bet, Aldenary is my best bet at Doomben because the Crust is out of Aldenary. I'm also out of it, but I've had a few more winners than the Crust.
If any person is pricing the race, and that's what you're inclined to do, just fucking bonus this horse by like 4 or 5 lengths.
I fired up the model for Eagle Farm, because we've got the runner, I need to preview the race and, coordinate any tactical decisions we need to make. And because I like you do one race, you do them all, and wowee, Crussy boy, out in here is real short.
Yeah.
Like real short.
It was $6 out to 22 last start, and it's come second, and hewn from the back, but it got the Christmas.
And don't you have one going around at Morphettville as well, Dicko, or is that not happening?
Yeah, Windstorm heads to Morphettville.
Race 8, number 2 with Jake.
Race 8, Jake Toroke rides, drawn nicely for that horse. It's a hot enough race for Adelaide, but he's going to be hard to beat. If God shines upon us and it's the God's will, whichever one of them's up there working on Saturday afternoon, we could have a winner across 3 states at the city level. And if Just Folk was to get away with murder, that'd be a group race. So,
wouldn't that be nice? All right, shall we shift our attention to Randwick? Perhaps for those people that would have just skipped Dicko's part and gone straight to yours to listen to some actual analysis, can you just quick check on what the track's going to do? Rail true.
Got him. Go on. Tell your story.
Yeah, we similar to what I mentioned before. Pretty even.
Sorry. Let's like Paddy's obviously so worked up to get that gag out that he's front-footed it so badly, preempted that shot. Paps has already given us how this track's going to race, mate.
That's what I just said. For people that skip over your analysis, because it will say Flemington in the show notes, and they'll just click the little chapters and just go straight to the real punter, straight to Randwick. Okay. You got me? That goes straight over your head as well, like it did to Paps before, did it? Fuck, we're all on fire here.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Paps, as you were.
Early.
Anyway, I think it will play lanes 4+ in the straight. Don't want to be worse than midfield. So around just about 1 out, 1 back, or a little bit pair back from that would be very nice. We'll start. Do you want to start in race 3? I got one there.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Race 3. We've got the benchmark 88 over 1,200 metres.
We've got that race name. Fuck, yeah.
Oh, yes, the Asahi Super Dry Handicap.
Jeez, Brady's sponsoring
That's fantastic. Spring Lee is at the top of the market, $2.30. Le Vampire or Le Vampe or however you say it, $4. Yiska, $4.80. Glint of Silver, $9, and along with the rest. I see a mailbag bloodstock runner in this race as well. Did you give any
We've
hope?
got another runner. I didn't even know this is running.
Did you give any hope to number 8, Danusta?
My God.
No, I don't. But
that is all we need is a crust to say it can't win too. We could win in 4 states.
It's first up, Danusta, but I prefer others, with all due respect.
Oh, you do.
Spring Lee, the favourite, gets J-Mac from Schiller. Maps well, 460 last start in a Group 3, was not suited. I reckon it's just a bit short with J-Mac coming on. Obviously, the market's reacted to that. I think the gap between Le Vampires is too big. First up, off 326 days is the query. 2 trials. Gays are hard to catch in the trials. They don't look the best, but they actually come out and run pretty well. But I'm going to wait and see in the yard, because if Scuzz says this is ready to go, I think it's a good bet first up. Has Group 2 and 3 form over 14,600 metres. Hippo's trialled it both times, rides it here, maps very well, no speed in the race, and I think it's a good bet around the $4 mark. So Le Vampires for me.
Okay.
Is that how you say that? Le Vampires?
I don't know. I reckon I might have let him down a garden path there.
No, I think it is something like that.
I'm going like Les Vampires.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. If you're wondering what Paps is talking about too, that's Rob Scurry's Mounting Yard mail for the mailbag.com.au. If you want to buy it just as a once-off for Saturday, if you're looking to get the stamp like Paps is for Les Vampires, or however Dicko wants to pronounce it, it's only $19.99 for the day. So go and grab his mail, but perhaps you're keen on Le Vampires, or however you say it. When Scuzz gives the stamp, you've rattled me now, Dicko. I'm not even sure if that's how you say it.
No, Tom rattled me. You got like real clean on
if
it.
It's you think if it's LES, it's Les, like a bit of French in there.
No, definitely some French, but I don't speak French. I can't wait for this race. I'm going to be watching now. I got a runner, but also just listen to the great man call it. He'll get it right, and we'll get an answer. What we do, though, is we pray to God Zeus a la Bilbo Baggins that they do a bit of the Rose Hill midweek gear here and just fucking water the shit out of this track, because that'll really suit Daniel Star. Get the hoses out, boys. Well, what I will say for the horses' safety and for the participants, and a long, hot day there in Sydney on Saturday, 10 races, Group 1 racing at the back of the card, we want to make sure there's plenty of give in this track early. So if anyone up there is listening, and go and have another quick beer or another dart and let the hose go for that little bit extra.
All right, perhaps then we go across to race 7, the Surround Stakes over 1400, the Group 1 3-year-old fillies. We have at the top of the market Lady Shenandoah, $1.60. J Mac for Waller. That seems like that's surely going to be the bet. Lady of Camelot, horse number 2. Number 6, Lilac at $16. So you've got 2 in the market, and then a lot longer the rest.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone at home's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
We know where this is going.
Is it 5 of the best?
J Mac,
Nah.
Inside Draw.
I thought
Waller, Group 1, 3-year-old filly.
Yeah.
It's not a question of if, it's just how much.
Nah. Well, I'm not. This is a Group 1, so I'm just going over it. I'm not betting. I'm just analysing the Group 1.
Okay,
boys.
go on. What do you think's most likely to win?
Yeah, 10 units, Lady Shenandoah. No. I think I can't. You couldn't take the $1.60.
Oh, that's what it is. I was about to guess. I haven't looked at the odds. What I took from what you said was it's going to win, but it's too short, and it must be like $1 something.
But let me finish. But when last spring or autumn, Lola's second up, and I wouldn't even chuck this thing in a multi either, just because of that little. Yeah. It is a Group 1 though, which is the difference between.
Oh, I like this.
Difference between, I think, who was it, Jolly Star or something last spring or whatever it was. But I just reckon you've got to be careful of Wallace second up when they go bang. Although it did win soft last start, it was. Yeah, I'm just wary of Wallow and what he does and things like that. Yes, it's a Group 1 grand final, so you'd think it'd be ready to go. But just in the back of your mind, I'm just going to leave that out of a multi and watch it go around. I think it'd be pretty nice to see it go whack and go on and have a great autumn into the spring as well. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be backing it. If something does go wrong, obviously it's Lady Camelot, Amelita's maybe the other one, but. Yeah, I can't have a bet in the race, but just be wary of doing multis with it.
If we're at the pub and we're in a little syndicate and it's your turn to bet, you got to bet in this race. You got to spend $50. Gamble responsibly. 1-800-858-858. What do you do?
Can I answer first? I'll answer from my old man's point of view. He'd go favourite field, and just pray for the best in a trifecta.
It's
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's it's starting to make a lot of sense where your deep-seated but successful sickness comes from, eh?
Yeah, successful sickness, absolutely.
I like that bet.
Yeah, that's an S Pratt special.
If I had to have a bet, there's no same race multis on the tab, is there?
Yeah, we're at the pub. You're betting on the machine. You're betting on the machine.
Analog.
I'd go Amelita, the place.
Yeah, nice.
It's going to be back. It hit the line really well, 1,200 to 1,400. If it can just get a wide draw, just sneak in the 3 wide cover line, I think that's a good place bet.
Perhaps race 8, Verry Elleegant Stakes, top of the market, Via Sistina, $1.85. Fangirl, $3.20. Cheo Wolf, or Jao Wolf, how do you say this horse to go?
Jao Wolf.
Cheo Wolf is $5.50. Lindemann, $13 and longer the rest.
Old
I think I asked this last time. Is it Via or bust?
No, it's I tipped Fangirl against him last time, and I'm going to tip her again here.
Ooh.
I'm just going to wait. I wouldn't mind just seeing what the market does, and if it gets out to a bit better than 320, I think you can have a bet. Fangirl's bomb-proof when it's slow tempo. It's going to be slow tempo again. It's going to be a pair in front of Cheo Wolf. Cheo Wolf might go forward, and I don't know, this time around, second up, may go forward, but I'm predicting it will just go back. Fangirl will be in front of Via Sistina and Cheo Wolf. I think Fangirl suits 1,600 better than the other two. Yes, the other two are good horses as well, but it's just going to be a pair closer. Went huge last start. I'm not taking $1.85 about Via Sistina. Via Sistina went home much better than Wolf last start and was bumping a little bit. And Fangirl just won too good last start against them too. So if I'm going to have a bet at the pub, Dicko, I'm having Fangirl to win.
Because also, you're getting like reverse Goldens, sort of Via Sistina and Wolf. They're drawn tricky, and you wouldn't expect J-Max going to use it up to be, tactically ahead of Fangirl in the run. It's just going to be covering a bit more ground.
Yeah, it was weak of me last start not to back Fangirl, and I could be weak again. But yeah, just looking at just over Fangirl's preps and stuff, the slow tempo, it just goes whack. It's got the best sprint in the race, and it's going to be a slow tempo again. Small field, Lyndon will be out in front, and it will just be midfield. Colette on, and might just go whack again.
If you do get scurry stuff, and for Tom, I would handle this race differently. When I'm getting it from him or Pete, it's mainly Pete for me in a race like this. I just more want to know that Wolf's improved or it hasn't improved, or Via's off or it's on. Like you just want the report, not necessarily their opinion on the bet. You've already got yours. There's so much information about these horses and your map and things like that. You'd just be looking for Via's 2 away or Via's at top wallow. Then I go, oh fuck, things like that.
Yeah, fair enough. They're the two Group 1s. Perhaps did you have, and actually, sorry, before I go on, what price did you have currently Fangirl? Obviously, that may change with any scratchings and the like, but what price?
I've got it about market.
Okay.
So you could have a bet, but I'm just going to wait. I just don't want to. They're tough races. They're good horses. It's Dicko's number one rule. Don't want to force it. So yeah, I'll just wait. If Fangirl was $4, Betfair, I'd probably have a bet.
It's a bloody good meeting. Like, oh my God, look at race 6, the Guy Walters Stakes. You got Amelia's Jewel, Alencia, Aslafina. Tashi was slaughtered, and crucified at Sandown behind She's Bulletproof, who almost won a Group 1 last Saturday. Goes back to Sydney, gets T Berry on, drawn 4. It was like so badly ridden last start. Have you had a look at that race? What are we doing?
It's a tough race. It was I actually landed on, now we're thinking of value, I actually landed on French Endeavour as a value, sort of more the place. Last start was back, not suited, wide draw, now gets inside draw at a very, very soft tempo, second up. Amelia's Jewel first up, trialled very well. I have it short the market and on top. But if I was to have a bet in the play, I'd do French Endeavour just on the fact it just gets a very, very soft lead. Yes, it's a small field. Sort of a bit of a tactical affair with the map. There's sort of not many horses that want to go forward, so be interesting to see what J-Mac does. I'd assume he'll just land it in 1-1 probably.
Do you ever, do you ever focus on you certainly have it more in Sydney than we have it in Melbourne. It's kind of like Brisbane where you've got like Randwick and Rose Hill, they've got Eagle Farm and Doomben. I look at that French Endeavour, I'm getting a bit toey, and then I see it's none from 7 at Randwick and none from 3 Track and Trip. Because I vaguely remember when I was cutting my teeth up there, there'd be like, this is a Rose Hill horse or this is a Randwick horse.
Yeah, but just the way it hit the line last start at Rose Hill, it's hard to do. And then it just got an easy lead. So I was like, as a value play for a place, I think the others will beat it, but I thought it could snag a place, second or third, and even I wouldn't want to. I would have a little tiny bit on the win just in case, but it does grab me up a bit now you've said that.
Sorry, I'm just asking questions. Yeah, I thought Tashi's got some nice. I also just saw that Tashi had good stats that way. So as we always do, you kind of find a horse you like, and then you find reasons to back it.
That's the 2 Group 1s, and then the Guy Walters Stakes. Perhaps you having any other bets at Randwick that you wanted to see the punters into?
Yep, best bet of the day, race 10, the Get Out Stakes, or probably don't really call it the Get Out Stakes, or the
Call it the Double Up Stakes, mate.
Double Up Stakes responsibly. But Dicko, you know this horse. It's come from Melbourne, Kings Valley, number 14. Map's an absolute treat. Ashley Morgan on. I think Birdman is way under the odds. Good run, really good run last start, but I think it'll be better over 2,400. Yes, it's obviously a chance to win, but I think Kings Valley, rock hard fit. Yeah, it's had a few runs, but it's rock hard fit. $5 behind Revelair. Birdman will be back in the field, slow tempo. Randwick does suit it better, but yeah, Kings Valley will be 3 or 4 lengths ahead of Birdman, and yeah, I think it's the best bet of the day. I've got it around $2.20.
Oh, I love that.
Revelair in race 2.
I was completely prepared, Praddy, for Birdman to be the bet there. Just sort of J-Mac, Waller,
just the stars are aligning. Yeah, you've got Revelair race 2 at Flemington as well, punters. So if Revelair goes and runs and comes in and wins.
Yeah, but in that race, punters, we're cheering for Shine New Deal, who gets racing's greatest human being to sit on its back. And let's not rule out a bit of a fucking upset there, right?
And as
it is $2.60 there.
If the form holds up or something from that form line wins in Shiny New Deal, and I was going to lead you in, but no podcast craft, all good there. If something wins from those form lines...
You're on today.
Might be worth having a little bet. Was there anything else? That was obviously your best patch.
Is that what exercise does to you? Does it just stimulate your brain to start just humming along?
I exercise every week. I don't know what's happening. It could be the sweet nectar of a Pepsi Max for my Thursday afternoon.
I've got a little Quinella for you.
Ooh, this is after being filthy about not taking that Quinella last week, isn't it?
Race 4, Shaggy.
Ooh,
what a name! What a horse!
I think Revelina will get back. J-Max off, sticky draw. If Shaggy gets another Christmas in front, I think I've got it on top around market. There's a horse called Comedy that was huge last start, taking ground off Shaggy, who was very, very good. But second up here, 1,200 metre suits. And if it can just get a nice little cover midfield, I think it can either win or definitely come second. They're the only 2 out of that race I could back. Quietly Arrogant gets J-Mac on. Wide draw last start at Gold Coast. Hooned home. Map's better here. J-Mac on. I've got that about market as well. So you could even box up 1, 4 and 3. Trifecta Quinella and see how you go. So there's a little play for you.
Holy shit. That race 5's mint as well. That's a glorious card up there in Sydney, eh?
And then before we wrap this episode up, we've obviously, as we said at the top of the show, we've got a new segment backed by Betfair. We've got the inaugural segment, the Betfair Value Vault. Obviously, Betfair is known to a lot of you, and if it's not, it's a peer-to-peer wagering platform where you are physically betting against somebody else and setting the odds. It's not a corporate bookmaker. And what Betfair is known for is its value across the whole platform. So usually you see Betfair starting price, so BSP, usually is higher than the best tote on the day. So Dicko, I know you've used a Betfair for a long, long time, and it's what helps you cut your teeth. What are the reasons that you use Betfair?
I cut my teeth. Actually, that's what it means. It means how you started. I cut my teeth in play trading with Betfair a lot at the races, which is a great way to wager. And a great market to watch if you just love racing and want to see what happens with the flux in run. You'll see horses go real short if if we're lucky enough tonight to get TB calling, for example, and he says something like home at the 600, it'll crunch, might not win. Betfair is it's a platform that you simply have to be using, whether it's solely or partly part of your way you bet. It needs to be involved. If you're still lucky enough to be getting all the good promotions that all the plastics offer you, milk them. Then you could be arbing some back, so you can bet and you can lay.
So on top of that, obviously with Betfair and its value and what we're talking about, and one panel member here will love me what horse I'm about to bring up. But if we look back at Patch's Inhibitions bet from the 15th of the 2nd, it actually started 25.2% better as Betfair starting price than the best tote. So the best tote price was $14.90. $14.90. If you took Betfair BSP, you got $18.65. So 25.2% better than starting price. So if you are going to bet late, It's not just a tool for professionals. Anybody can use the Betfair platform. They've got heaps of articles on their Betfair hub that you can go through and learn all about it. But if you're going to bet late, it's the tool that Dicko uses. It's what he tells all of his clients to bet on late, because it is usually a lot better value than the totes. And then Dicko, you've got 2 horses for us for the Betfair Value Vault. I believe they're in race 4 at Flemington.
Yes, they are, Michael. Thanks for steering me into the right race.
You're welcome.
I think that particularly if you're price sensitive, well, we can talk about that another day. So let's just talk about which horses we're going to back and why. We're going to back 2 horses, and we're going to take SP on both in race 4. That's the 7 Wolfie, who gets a positive jockey switch. The inform and very good Ethan Brown replaced by Mark Zara, who's still King Kong. I thought it was really, really good last start. It was a 480 chance there versus 750 Mr. Montaro, and it meets it 3 kilograms better because I think Mr. Montaro had an apprentice that day and doesn't now. So I thought it was big odds early, and I've whacked it. But you can whack this horse again late, and also you'll find you'll beat SP, or you'll get a better price Betfair on horses that don't map forward, and Wolfie's one of them. This horse will be midfield, just worst, hopefully, with Mark Zara. I think it's a great value play there in race 4, and the other horse will also be back in the run. It'll be grandstand side. It carries the what silks are they? They're good people.
Roll the dice silks.
Roll the dice silks. It goes Mellum to Jai. It was not suited and circled them on an on-pace suited Caulfield Heath track last start. This horse is progressive and on the up. But that map, I think, will see you get a better price late on Betfair. So they're the 2 horses I've identified as sort of double-figure value opportunities there at Flemington on Saturday in race 4. Gamble responsibly, 1-800-858-858, or visit the website.
That wraps up the Value Vault. That is Flemington race 4, horse number 8, Wolfie, and number 17, Barrack Lad. Paps, does that do us for episode 24 of the Captain's Run?
That does, mate. Dane Rampy, 24 episode. Let's have a great weekend, guys. Gamble responsibly, as always. 1-800-858-858.
Or visit the website.
Good stuff, boys.
Bye for now.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.